Okay. The fourth understanding, okay, the fourth understanding on why modern Hebrew women have hatred for Hebrew men would be they don't believe in righteous behavior. You see that, Israel? They don't believe in righteous behavior. Okay? When you look at the modern Hebrew women, they do not show modest behavior examples. Okay? They do not show righteous behavior examples. We're going to go to the book of 1 John chapter 5 verse 3. It says, "For this is the love of Elohim, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous." And we know the word grievous means it's not bad or difficult. Okay, grievous. It's not gonna cause, like, grievous something. If something is grievous, it will cause harm to you or something like that. Okay, with the definition of grievous. But his commandments are not grievous, so it's not something that's going to put harm or put you in danger. Yahweh's laws protects you, but the modern Hebrew women don't understand that. Okay, so the Hebrew brother in the truth, they're going to be about Yahweh's commandments. Okay, because that is the love of the Most High. Modern Hebrew women don't understand that when you keep the commandments, you're showing the love of the Most High. Modern Hebrew women don't understand it because they go to Sunday service, they go to all these different philosophies. Guess what? That just teach love, just love, 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 but they don't explain how to love the Most High. Most High wants you to keep his commandments. Okay? So now we're going to go to 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11, right? 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. It says, "Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection." See, coming to the Hebrew man, you modern Hebrew women, you have to learn in silence. You have to learn what this Bible is really saying with all subjection, because most Hebrew women of today that's modernizing the mind, they want to come with talking, over talking the man versus learning in silence. Okay? Christianity has put the spirit on the sisters to be more vocal. Okay, but Hebrew sisters that's learning about this Hebrew understanding, you have to become more silent. You have to just sit back and listen. Let the word of Yahweh speak. Okay, this is what the Bible is saying. 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 12. "But I suffer not a woman to teach." So again, it's going into teaching the word of the Most High in a congregation setting. Okay, that's what it's getting into. Because women's job is to teach the young children, of course, but this is getting into a context of leadership role in the church. "But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man." So that's what that's getting into. Nor to usurp authority over the man. See, modern Hebrew women of today can't get with this program, because if you look at their attributes, their characteristics, they are usurping authority over the man. Okay, even in their conversations, right? You'll see the brother mainly quiet. You'll see the woman doing all the talking, right? When you go out, see on certain events, the woman is doing mainly all the talking. The man is quiet, sent back like a church mouse, right? That's because, again, she's operating, that modern Hebrew woman is operating on the spirit of the world. But it says, "Nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence." So you Hebrew women are supposed to be in what? In silence. That's what the Bible says. Okay? So that's why the modern Hebrew women have hatred for Hebrew men, because Hebrew men gonna come with this Bible. Okay? That's point blank, period. So that's what type of spirit the Hebrew brothers gonna come with. And a lot of modern Hebrew women ain't gonna be down with that. I gotta learn from you, because our sisters love to go to the white man's education system and learn from him. But when it comes to learning from their actual husband, or a man that they potentially want to be a husband or something like that, they're not going to listen to that man. Okay, because it didn't come from the white man doctrine. Okay. In the fifth way that modern Hebrew women have hatred for Hebrew men, the fifth way, it says they don't agree with the concept of being a helpmate to a Hebrew man. So modern Hebrew women expect a man to just do all the providing, and the modern woman of today don't have to do anything. She just come with her body, and that's it. No, the Hebrew women have to put works into as well. Okay? Coming to a Hebrew man in this truth, you Hebrew sisters, you got to put works in. Okay? Let's go to the Titus chapter 2 verse 3. It says the aged women likewise, talking about the older, mature women that have knowledge of the Most High, the aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, like I was stating earlier, that the behavior of aged women, more mature, sound women, they supposed to become holiness. Their behavior, you're supposed to see a change in behavior patterns to Yahweh's spirit and Yahshua's spirit. And it's going to explain how the attributes of a woman's characteristics is supposed to be holiness. It says not false accusers, because many Hebrew women of today that's more modern in the mind, they are false accusers. Okay, they make up stories against other brothers or other sisters. It says not false accusers, not given to too much wine, because like I stated earlier, a lot of our sisters be drunk in the club, turning up, always busybodies out and about, right? They drinking too much. Most of these sisters are drinking too much, okay? In which, of course, they are known to be false accusers, accusing brothers of doing something they don't do, or setting other sisters up, or just cause a social media frenzy going on so they can get some likes, or falsely accusing somebody of something. And then it says teachers of good things. So the sisters supposed to be what? Teachers of good things. And we know good things are Yahweh's commandments. Modern Hebrew women of today don't know nothing about Yahweh's commandments like that. So how are they going to be teachers of good things? So you see why the modern day Hebrew Israelite woman doesn't have love for the Hebrew man? They have hatred for the Hebrew man, because the Hebrew man is operating on a different vibration, different type of spirit than the world. Okay? Point blank, period. Okay? Let's go to the next verse. Titus chapter 2, verse 4. It says that they may teach the young women to be sober. So again, like I said earlier, modern women of today, you Hebrew women of today, you still supposed to be teaching. Not in the congregation setting where you ruling over in the church, but this is going into, you're supposed to be teaching in young sisters, your children or so forth, how to live righteous according to Yahweh's laws. That's why it says that they may teach the young women to be sober. So you're supposed to be teaching the younger sisters how to live right, be right in the right state of mind. Not drunkards, not quarrelsome, not argumentative, not gossipers. Okay? But the older sisters, the more mature sisters, guess what? They're not doing that. They're leading the younger generation down a road of chaos. It says that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands. You see what the older sisters are supposed to be teaching the younger women? How to love their husbands. Okay? When it says love their husbands, it's going into the Hebrew man that's in the truth, of course. Okay? To love their husbands. Because a husband is supposed to have order, discipline, structure. Okay? It says to love their children. To love their children. So again, the women's supposed to love their children as well. It goes love their husbands and then love their children. You see that? So the modern Hebrew women of today, how are they showing love to their children if they out there in the club twerking? You ain't showing love to your children, because you're supposed to be showing your children a pattern of good works. Okay? Not trying to catch you a break, trying to, get you a brother that got some money so he could just take care of you and your children. No, you're supposed to be seeking a brother in this Hebrew truth to get the right mind, to get the right spirit. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You modern day Hebrew women. Okay, Titus chapter 2, verse 5. It says to be discreet. To be discreet. Let's go back to what we stated earlier about the sisters supposed to be what? Using discretion when it comes to appearance, how they carry themselves, their attributes, how they dress. To be discreet. Okay, chaste. Keepers at home. You see that? Not busybody in the clubs. It said keepers at home. So that's a pattern our sisters have to now get that mindset of, because mainly the modern Hebrew women always like to be out and about. They always like to be getting into stuff. The Hebrew women, their main thing is supposed to be keepers at the house. Make sure the house is maintained. Make sure things are supplied in the house for the foundation. Meaning, make sure we got toilet tissue. Make sure we got paper towels in the house. Make sure we got food in the house. These are things that the sisters are supposed to do. This is the job of the sisters that have husbands at home. Okay, they have husbands or children at the house. They're supposed to make sure the house has a constant upkeep and constantly is supplied with the goods it needs to be able to maintain itself. So being a wife, sisters, is a big time job. It's a very stressful job, but it's a job, okay? Because it has to get done. Because the men of Israel mainly always at work all the time in general. Okay, Titus chapter 2 verse 5. It says to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands. You see that, Israel? It says keepers at home, good. So you have to be good, and we know good is keeping Yahweh's commandments. And then it says obedient to their own husbands, not somebody else's husband. You know what I'm saying? And it said be obedient to Tony down the street, right? No, it said obedient to their own husbands. So you sisters, modern day Hebrew sisters, y'all supposed to have your own husband. Why are you worried about who such else is talking to? Y'all busybodies. You're not supposed to be busybodies. You supposed to have your own husband, sisters. Okay, worry about your relationship with your own husband. How to be a good wife to your own husband. Stop gossiping. Stop worrying about Beyonce and Jay-Z and their relationship. Worry about your own relationship, ladies. Okay, it says that the word of Elohim be not blasphemed, because when you're not following Yahweh's righteousness, you're blaspheming the word of the Most High. Because the word of the Most High say you must be obedient to your own husbands. Okay, you Hebrew women, you have to be discreet. You have to be chaste, keepers at home. You have to be good. You have to have good character about yourself. You know, you seen the videos that we showed earlier. Modern Hebrew women are not showing good characteristics to show that they're operating in Yahweh's spirit. Okay, point blank, period. Okay, because many of our sisters, they don't understand the concept of, following the ways of this Bible. So again, modern Hebrew women have hatred for Hebrew men. On one of the ways, they don't agree with the concept of being a helpmate to the Hebrew man. And we know, according to the book of Genesis chapter 2 verse 18, it says, and Yahweh Elohim said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. So again, the Most High created a woman to be a helpmeet for the man. Okay, that's the purpose of a woman being created. Okay, point blank, period, to be a helpmate unto the man, not the oppressor unto a man. Because that's what the modern women are thinking. They're thinking, oh, I was brought on earth to rule over a man. I was brought on earth to make him seem like he's nothing. No, that's what the modern women concept believes. But the Hebrew women that's in righteousness, they don't follow that pattern of spirit. That's a worldly perspective spirit that's been brainwashed on our sisters. Okay. And also another concept of our women ruling the household in wickedness, because again, we read a woman is supposed to be obedient to her husband, and she was created to be a helpmeet unto her husband. But this is the consequences of our sisters going off. Isaiah chapter 3 verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. Because again, the children of today, the younger generation, are what oppressing the poor, the older, the elderly, because there's no leadership of men in these households. And that's why it says, and women rule over them, because a woman needs the guidance of a man to rule that household in order. See, children are already going to be affected spiritually because there's no man in the house. You need the man in the house with the woman to do what? Guide the children so they can see a pattern of good works. Because normally, what pattern of works do you see with women with just living with children without no man? The women don't do it. Well, the women are not showing a pattern of good works normally because they don't have a head to guide them to follow Yahweh's righteousness most of the time. Not saying it's not possible for a single woman to not lead the household right, but it's very not likely. Okay, not likely on a majority scale that women are going to keep Yahweh's commandments if they're single with children. Okay, to be able to maintain on their course. That's why it's important for women to have a husband. Not saying it's 100% requirement that a woman must get married. But in general, if a woman wants to be led the right way, she has to be what? Led by a man that's in the spirit of righteousness on Yahweh's word. Okay, that's point blank period. Because being a single woman out here, you're going to be living in sin primarily. Okay. And it says, and women rule over them. So the women are the rulers of the household in modern day times. They did it back in Isaiah's time. Now they doing it again in this generation. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths, because the women are not supposed to be ruling over the children foundation. Supposed to be the man, the husband, the leader, supposed to be ruling over the children foundation. And the woman supposed to follow whatever that husband is teaching to pass it on to the children. It's called order. Okay, that's why it says, they which lead thee cause thee to err. Because the women that's of the world in modern day times, they're following the customs of the world primarily. They're not following Yahweh's commandments. Okay. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 9. It says, neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. You see that, Israel? They're not teaching this concept in the Christianity faith. They're not teaching this concept in the world perspective of their methods. They're not teaching that the woman was created for the man. They're telling the woman she's equal to the man. Right? That's what they're telling their sisters in America and also in other countries. They're telling women, you are equal to the man. But the Bible says, neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. So the woman was specifically created to be with a man. That's in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 9. This is the New Testament. Okay, New Testament. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 12. Now, this is when the Hebrew women is supposed to be in the right spirit. This is how you know they were operating in the right spirit. It says, she will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. You see that, Israel? It says she will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. See, modern Hebrew women, they're not going to do him good and not evil all the days of her life. They're not going to do the modern Hebrew man like that. Okay, the modern Hebrew woman is going to what? Treat him bad and do evil all the days of her life. That's what the modern Hebrew women are going to do. But the Hebrew woman that is repented, that's in the truth, what it says she going to do? She would do him good and not evil all the days of her life, because she realized her place. Okay? The Hebrew women know their place. But the modern Hebrew women of today have hatred for the Hebrew man, so they're not going to operate on this spirit of understanding. This spirit of understanding is above their understanding. Okay? This is what the artists, the rap artists of the women, they don't rap about this type of stuff. They do not rap about this type of stuff on the music.